Hi everyone, my name is Neha Lohia and I am here on behalf of the Queen's World Film Festival 2024, representing the block Survival, which is going to show on 25th of April at Kaufman Astoria Studios at Zucker Theaters. And we have the good fortune of meeting one of our filmmakers today, uh, Wyatt Werneth, who is the maker of an incredible film called Drowning. Hi, Wyatt, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Wyatt, can you introduce yourself a little bit and tell us a little more about you, where you're from, and tell us a little bit about you, please.
Okay, I mean, to sum it up, kind of match the film, which is loosely based on me, is I'm a Coast Guard Navy veteran. I am married. I have a 21-year-old daughter who just graduated college. I live in Cocoa Beach, Florida. My hobbies are obviously the water and being in and around the water, water safety. I'm currently a stuntman. And one of the things that I specialize in is water safety. Whenever there's an actor going into the water, I have something to do with that in most movies. I I currently behind me is a project that I have that's a not-for-profit where we place these life-saving devices all across beaches in America to help prevent drowning. If someone gets into trouble, they can grab a ring and go out and help someone when there's not a lifeguard on duty. Um, that's pretty much it. I stay active and I volunteer all my time to helping people. And in the film, did we talk about the film yet? Are you
Ah,
ready for
it's
that?
okay. You can go on. Yeah, please. Sure. Tell us about the film.
Okay, and in the film, I kind of represent my happy-go-lucky life until I find out that I have cancer. I'm a cancer survivor. I'm 4 years out clear right now. I'm waiting for the fifth year to recognize that it most likely will not come back. So I beat it thus far. Thank you. And going through film school, I thought that there was something that I wanted to kind of reach out to people and kind of show that emotion and that feeling that I was having, where I was very excited, happy, very physical, and then I had cancer, and it knocked me down. It brought out some of the PTSD and stuff that I had from being in the military, and where I was going to go with that. But it also shows the strong support from my family, my wife in particular, who stars in the movie. I had to talk her into it. I think it turned out pretty well. It was my first attempt at doing any kind of editing, screenwriting, production, filming, everything. We ended up having to do it all because of the COVID. Things were kind of locked down, and we didn't get out and share a lot of experiences with our classmates. So I kind of did a lot of it all by myself. It was very difficult, and at one point I was very uninterested in doing it again until I've been receiving some good messages from it. And evoking some feelings and emotion is what movies are supposed to do, and also getting these selections have been very important with me staying on track. And not only um, when I got into film school, I wanted to learn about more about how to handle and what to do behind the camera so I could do better in front of the camera as a stuntman. So now I'm gravitating a lot on both sides, and I'm feeling more comfortable behind the camera. And so the film school, Digital Film Academy, with Professor Cato as one of our instructors, has led me onto this path that I'm very excited about, and moving forward and coming to New York and seeing a lot of other people who have the same interest.
That's such a fascinating journey of your life, honestly. And from what I'm hearing, I am gathering that, being a stuntman, being in military, being loving the waters, fighting cancer, you've been a fighter and a survivor and a risk taker all of your life. That has been like a repeated pattern, and you've just outdone yourself one after the other, each at each stage. Um, how did it feel that your film was in this block called Survival?
I'm very honored. I can't believe that I'm among some great filmmakers just coming out of school and everything. I'm very touched by that. I think that it's very meaningful that it's under the survival side of things because that like you just said, is something that I feel like I've been doing my entire life is fighting to survive and get through this life here on Earth.
Mm.
And this has been a way to kind of express that.
Yeah, of course. Um, what has been the most challenging um thing in your life that you think that's the time when you felt you're gonna break down, but you did not and you made it? What was like, I'm sure there are like hundreds of stories you would have, but what was like the most challenging thing and you thought, nah, I can't cross that, and you crossed it? What was that?
Well, beside the cancer, which was obviously a physical and mental problem, you know, before that, some time ago, I operated the beaches of Brevard County as the ocean rescue chief. That's one of the reasons why we started this not-for-profit, because we don't have enough lifeguards in our community. There's 72 miles with 210 beach accesses for people to visit our beaches. And I dealt with many of drownings. In my career, I've had over 40 fatalities that we pulled out of the water. So one of the things that I was fighting for in my career was to get more lifeguards, more funding, better training. And so year 2007, I was just kind of at a wit's end with things, and I decided I wanted to drag a cross of sorts. And what I did to bring awareness to beach safety, water safety, rip currents, and all the drownings we were having in our community, I started out from Miami, Florida, on an 18-foot paddleboard, only about 4 feet wide, in a prone position paddling out in the ocean for 345 miles up the coast to Jacksonville,
Oof.
suffering, dragging across, remembering, trying to bring awareness to all the people that I had to pull out of this beautiful ocean. And it took me 10 days, grueling 10 days to do that. And I actually got a Guinness World Record for doing it. But that wasn't the main reason that I did. The main reason I did it was to bring awareness. And just it turned out that it was such a grand feat. No one's done it since. I'll never do it again. And that was a tough one because I was overcoming so many things. The only way to really truly um, engage in it was I put myself in the ocean under elements, paddling through the night, offshore in the open sea. I think at one point we were out in, almost 2 or 3 thousand feet of water offshore in the Gulf Stream, miles offshore, 6 or 7 miles offshore. I had a Coast Guard escort following along behind me. So yeah, that was a lot to overcome and deal with during that physical challenge, that mental challenge. And so I got to say that going through that and having that as some type of therapy, going into having cancer and the treatment that I had, I was able to reflect back on that suffering
Mm.
and it made it a little bit easier. So, I could wage cancer was obviously terrible and worse and everything, but I think because I endured that 10-day, suffering that I kind of came to terms with it a little bit.
Wow. So it's like our whatever we've dealt or felt in the past almost becomes like that new motivation, that new thing for us to help overcome the next obstacle in life. That's a very, very beautiful metaphor there, right there. Those 10 days became like the power pillar to go through something else that you were going to face. Were so touching. Wetzel, tell us, what are we seeing exactly in drowning? What are we seeing? Which part of your life are we getting exposed to? What are we seeing in drowning? What's the story about?
Well, it starts out with the life that I had where it's just I'm trying to exhibit having just free loving life, enjoying the sun in the morning. I swim every day. I'm just enjoying it. And then I get the news that I have cancer. And then I'm having to deal with that. And what it does is it then brings out the PTSD with the flashbacks to war and the injuries and the trauma and everything that goes with that. Uh, my wife is an intricate part of that in soothing and talking and being there for me and encouraging me to kind of, again, go out and do what I enjoy while I think about and go through it. And during that time, I kind of use a little bit of the fact that I, have been a water safety person and saving lives. And someone gets into trouble, and ironically, I go out to rescue that person. And I think I try to leave the audience with the mystery at that point when it ends abruptly and goes into the introduction of the doctor. What happened? What happened to him? And did I survive? Did I make it? Did I fight through it? And then my wife received some interesting news where the doctor provides, that the information on how my diagnosis for terminal cancer and I only had 6 months to live was a mistake. And these are the kind of thing. Now, in my case, I didn't have that mistake thing.
Hmm.
I actually had to go through the chemo and the radiation. But the idea of having the mistake come up was it was already too late, because back at the beach, when I went to the beach, my thoughts and everything I was going through had already happened. My injuries, my psychological effect was done because I didn't know it. My
Mm.
wife gets the news. She comes out to try and help me or find me at the beach. She knows at the beach swimming. But when she gets there, she sees the emergency vehicles. She sees someone on the water that obviously had been rescued, but there's no sign of me around. And you just, hopefully, you can feel that, oh my goodness, what happened? And I use a little mise-en-scène with an object that are my goggles, because the goggles are kind of an intricate part of the swimming, and they kind of become iconic in the scene. And then it kind of fades out. One of those movies I like to watch, different movies where they do it a lot at Marvel, where it's over and the credits roll, and then now all of a sudden there's a little bit more of the story to fill it together. And that's where I had survived, and I come up, my wife is looking around, and I surprise her, and I think she gave us an amazing performance of feeling and emotion with her surprise and happiness that I was still alive.
Mm. Wow, I am so excited and looking forward to seeing this film in person. Are you and your wife joining us at the screening?
Oh, absolutely. We, of course, we're coming down. Being in Florida, we can't come up there and enjoy all the wonderful things you guys are doing. We're watching them, but we're going to come down on Tuesday next week and spend some time in Manhattan and Queens, look around,
Yeah,
and
and catch
obviously,
some more
we're coming.
films.
Yeah, absolutely. I
I
got some
have
friends up there.
I have a personal question. You said you've been in the military before, and which means you had lifted guns at some point. Then you said you were in rescuing people, which means you had lifted lifeboats or tires and tubes, whatever, sometime. And then you chose to lift a camera. What got you to make this choice to lift a camera to share the stories? I know your passion is to help people and to support them and to save lives. How do you think your camera is going to help, sort of carry forward that mission?
Well, thanks for asking that, because that was something that I was able to discover while I was in film school. Going back to being a child, one of the things that my mom was a single mom for a long time, and she worked across the street from a movie theater. And so what she would do, and I'm talking, I was like 8, 9, whatever, and she would take me over to the theater, and we got to know everyone that ran the theater, and she dropped me off like a babysitter. So I would see for 8 hours. I would go see whatever movies until she'd come pick me up. Back in those days, it wasn't as restricted with the the ratings and everything. And I watched all kind of movies. So I loved movies that were like my babysitter. But then as I was growing up, got to be that tough kid. I wanted to join the military and pick up guns and blow stuff up and go to war. Well, I did that and I didn't like it. So then what happened was I had gotten out and made a transition into the Coast Guard, where they were saving people. And I became, a lifeguard and everything with the Coast Guard, and learned how to save life, became a medic. And that changed my life as far as I didn't want to deal with guns so much anymore. And then the opportunity came to become a stuntman. Unfortunately, a lot of the stunts that I did in my early years, like GI Jane and things like that, were running and gunning because of the skill set that I had. In fact, one of my latest movie that's out right now that I'm in, Civil War, big war movie. Have you seen Civil War?
Not yet.
Yeah, that's amazing, interesting. I love the way that Alec Gardner did. Is it Gardner did the? I mean, everything's amazing about that. But so I got into stunts and everything, and while I was doing stunts, I started reflecting back on the film. Growing up and seeing movies, I've always loved movies. And then when I had the opportunity to get into the Digital Film Academy, it just really all of it came out and started kindling a new, I shouldn't say new, but just, revisiting that feeling that I have about movies, and the fact that I can control and create my own films, that just took me to a different level. So here we are. I'm at that next level.
Mm.
Thanks for asking that. Yeah.
No, absolutely. This is just so fascinating, to see this whole transition from, like you said, the guns to saving lives and now to sharing stories, documenting them, or, also the humanitarian work that you're doing and so passionate about, all these Coast Guard duties are absolutely incredible. Is there a message that you'd like to share with the people watching this or people who are in any of these phases in their lives, either dealing with a major medical situation, and crazy diseases or some sort of a dilemma, uncertainty? Is there anything you'd like to say? Because I think there's nobody who I have met in today's day as of now who has seen so much uncertainty. Like war is uncertain, whether you'll be able to save somebody from the water or no is uncertain, drowning, like everything is uncertain. So I think you're the best person to speak to that.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I try to live by the full of joy. You have to try to take all the joy and everything that's given to you each day and just never quit, keep moving forward. Someone said to me once before, that's why, we have the windshield in a vehicle is much larger than the rearview mirror. You don't want to look back. You want to keep moving forward. So yeah, just stay full of joy, people.
That was so powerful. Yes, the windshield is. You have to move forward. Yes, absolutely. Um, can you give us a call out? When can we see your film and where?
Hey guys, I'm Wyatt Werneth, and I'm excited to announce that I'm screening a film that I did in Digital Film Academy as my thesis, Drowning. It's going to be at the 13th annual Queens World Film Festival, and I have a discount code for you. At the Survival 6 Films about digging deep and getting through it at 7 p.m. on Thursday, 25th, 2024, I want you to present this code, QW Friends/family at checkout to get $5 discount on your tickets. We'll see you in Queens.
That was so cool.
All right, that was a
That
one
was
one take.
awesome. So I am so happy to have shared this conversation with you and to have listened to some of your journey. There's a lot more that I want to talk to you in person, and I am so excited to be seeing you. Thank you so much for joining us on this and for sharing something that you did.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time and attention.
Absolutely. So, guys, once again, see you at Kaufman Astoria Studio, Zucker Theater on 25th of April, Thursday at 7 o'clock. You don't want to miss this screening. Bye.